Welcome to Monster Hunter Wilds, a game developed by Capcom where you take the role of a hunter, a member of an elite task force designed to preserve the natural order by killing anything that is dangerous. Go it alone or join some friends to single-handedly take down a creature that destroyed an entire civilization. Hi, I'm Lunar, and today, I'm looking for a challenge. That's why I'm going to beat Monster Hunter Wilds using only the Hope gear. But first, let's go over the rules. Number 1, I am required to wear only the Hope armor and use Hope weapons. These items are what the game first gives you and are the weakest of all the sets. Number 2, my Palico can wear whatever they want. Once you get a group of at least 3 people into a party, the Palicos will leave the locale, meaning that whatever armor this fluffball wants, he gets. Number 3, subscribe. If you want to subscribe from me, how about this cute puppy? Also, I am being joined today by Layback Alchemist and Joy Okoshi, so have extra puppies to go check them out too.
Yeah, crap. Hey guys, do we have any furry corpses we can use for dogs?
That's enough for now. Let's get to the...
Lunar's mic shit the bed again.
We begin this game with a monster. This massive beast that devours an entire civilization for dinner. But amidst the chaos, one of the old people managed to shove a child out to safety, right into the wilderness filled with things that wanted to kill him. Meanwhile, Alma searches the Forbidden Lands for any monsters that are going to be a problem, only to find that same child instead. She and her team rush down there and save his life, realizing that the Forbidden Lands are not as empty as once believed. I then get dressed for work and meet up with the rest of my crew for this trip. I say hi to Olivia and Gemma, Smash. As we were talking about our plans, we noticed some monsters chasing another child, so I do what any rational person would do. Jump on a bird. Now joining the chase, I learned the controls of the Sacred and how to use pods before hopping on the child's bird and taking her to safety. But the worms continue to chase us, so Gemma tosses me a sword and I jump off my bird like I'm in some action movie, slicing into the worm and scaring it off. The girl is safe and we regroup, but she tells us her brother's in trouble. So it's up to us to save him, and by us, I mean me. But first I swap out my oversized sword for a sword and shield combo since it's faster, more agile, and perfect for blocking incoming hits. After beating up a barrel, I hop on my bird and begin the hunt. The bird takes me directly to the monster as it tries to eat that girl's brother for lunch, so I grab a spiky plant and shoot the frog in the face to get his attention. Alma rushes in to help the team get to safety as I stand off against the frog. Child is a pretty easy fight. His main moves are to lick you and a big ground slam, but as long as you keep moving, he can't really hit you. I rely on my sliding swipe to reposition and go for a charged chop when I'm safe. I also have Simba as backup since A, this mission is a force solo, and B, he's wearing the starter gear too. This fight is mainly an introduction to the game, but as we all know, I've played Wilds before, so I know a lot about the combat system. I didn't really struggle with this fight, taking Chada down rather quickly. I regrouped with Alma and the teen, who managed to heal the bird. He goes and sees the dead frog and is terrified of my power, which honestly, fair. We lay out our next goals, but the support team still hasn't arrived, so while we wait, we decide to take the kids back to their village. Also, at this point in the game, I teamed up with Alchemist and Choyo, so from this point onwards, the way we handle missions is simple. All 3 of us will start the mission at the same time, one person hosts and the other 2 join. It's how we did the missions in my original video, and honestly, it seemed to work well enough.
They kept disconnecting the original series. This was a shit show.
We grab the honey, then take the kids back home, where we are reasonably questioned by an adult about why we're wandering around with children. They explain that we saved their lives and the guards decide to thank us by shutting us out and taking the birds back. Jerk. Back at base camp, I hand off the honey to the guy who asked for it, but the support team still hasn't shown up. Oh no. Alma and I rush over to find the support team being chased by KFC. Simba's a little peeved though, so he does what any rational person would do. Call the chicken. Unfortunately, the chicken throws him off and bolts. We try to chase after it, but we can't keep up. Luckily, the team from earlier shows up and brings us back our birds. So now I can chase the fried chicken, and this time, it's personal. To deal with it, I stick close to the feet and slice away. Staying low helps me avoid most of its attacks, and when it charges, I can use my sliding swipe to dodge out of the way. Since I am joined by Choyo and Alchemist for this mission, I'll go over their weapons too. Choyo here is using the dual blades, prioritizing speed over defense. They act like the sword and shield, but rather than blocking, she gets demon mode. Meanwhile, at this point of the game, Alchemist is using the long sword. Not quite as fast, but it does deal more damage than both of us. So we give him a proper crispy send-off. We decide to share our meal with Yasai and his family, and learn how the child we brought here is most likely an orphan, just like Man. Only without the large inheritance. At our new base camp, Olivia and Eric join us to track down a bear that emoted on us. While planning our next move, Eric ran off and vanished into a cave, so we rush in and find him paralyzed, about to be eaten by a giant spider. I swear, I can't take my eyes off this kid for 2 seconds. I launch a spiky plant at the spider to get his attention, allowing Olivia to escape. Wait a minute, I have his attention. Oh my god! The spider fights differently than anything we've seen before. Her thin legs are hard to hit with my sword, so I switch over to the insect glaive, which allows me to fold into the air and strike from above. The downsides, however, no block, slower attack, and I have to watch out for this thing's paralytic spores. Touch one and I'm unable to move until something hits me. Most of the time, the monster.
I'm gonna fuck you.
Choya also started to use the bow with this fight, allowing her to hit many weak points at once and deal damage from a distance, while Alchemist also used the gun bow. Together we jumped the spider, minding its own business in its home, and took it out. After resupplying, Alma and I head back to the forest camp for some alone time. Get your minds out the gutter. We find our camp being looted by some locals when they start yelling and throwing hands at us. So Alma decides that they're telling us to follow them, but when they almost break her rare artifacts, she does whatever they ask. They bring us to our home and give us a mission of killing a monkey for its fur. You know what time it is. I'm gonna kill this monkey for that. Now this is where I would explain its attacks, but YouTube will get mad at me for explaining most of these. Especially this one. Thankfully, it wasn't too hard. Since we're still in early game, we took the monkey down rather easily. We then demanded our camp back from the locals and they agreed. We also gained access to side quests, but I don't have time to catch a fish when I have to kill dragons. We continued the investigation and head back to the campsite, only to see it getting destroyed by bears. We watched them play rough when Big Daddy Bear comes out of the shadows. Meet the Alpha. Exactly what you'd imagine when I say that word, minus the brain rot. But here's the problem. Now that they have a leader, they no longer fear us humans. Alma and I rush back to Yasai's village to warn them. Unfortunately, their guard went away, so I hop on my bird and rush over to warn him, only to find him being chased by worms at the beginning. I dash over and shoot the worm, saving his life, but he questions my existence, so I shoot more worms. Eventually, I lead them on a wild chase, ending with me getting sucked into a cave. Once inside, the fight begins. I started this fight off by using the insect glaive again, but I changed it rather early on back to the sword and shield. Alchemist ended up changing back to the longsword, but Choyo kept her bow, and she keeps her bow for the majority of this game. The worm is fast. It likes to burrow and run, but see, here's the trick. You can use Sonic Burst to flush it out. During this fight, we also learn about this neat trick that certain monsters have. Do you get tired of only being able to carve the monster 3 times? Let me introduce you to tail. You cut off the monster's tail, then you get to carve that for a bonus 4th item. And it is oh so satisfying watching the tail pop off. I promise, I'm not a sociopath. We gotta check up on Zato, and I tell him that everyone he knows and loves is about to die. So we rush back to the village to get everyone out. When were the bears attacking exactly? Seems we're a little too late. And the child got lost, so I go to help him out. Once we get out of the cave, Alma comes up with a plan. Kill the Alpha. Simple. Easy. Why didn't I think of that? I have to slash into the bear, drawing its aggro, and lead it into the sandstorm. Well, looks like the day is saved, and everyone gets to go home. Holy! The bear survived, and he is peeved. So now I really have to kill him before he hurts anyone else. It's a pretty standard fight, same weapon, same strategy. The only twist is that we are in the middle of a sandstorm that comes with a slide of lightning.
The gods will cease your existence.
We managed to take down the Alpha fast. This game gets hard, I swear. After making Boo Boo an orphan, we return to the village, and they are oh so thankful that they let me dye my bird and give it a name. After giving the giant chicken a fitting name, I decided the time has come to change out my weapon. See, the sword and shield has served me well, but I need something with a bit more power. Enter the Charge Blade, a weapon that stores energy and unleashes it for massive damage. It also comes with a shield. This is what I use for the rest of the challenge, and it's my first time, so be nice. After a bit of training, we regroup with the crew to give them their birds. But it seems that they are out searching for a dam. So we head out to meet up with them, but we see an SOS flare in the distance. We rush over to find Olivia in a defensive stance telling us to keep quiet. Something big is in the water, and as it attacks, we come face to face with the apex of the region. Our goal for this fight is not to kill the fish, but rather to repel it. But the big problem is this. You see how when I hit the monster, the damage indicator is blue and has a shield next to it? But you see, the fins on the fish act as armor, meaning that as long as Nemo can swim, we can't hurt him. We do manage to break off his fins, allowing us to deal some real damage, but he regrows them rather quickly. Also, I still had no clue how to use a charge blade, so I was just button mashing and praying. I learned later, I promise. After a long fight, we managed to scare the fish away, allowing us to escape. It's a good reminder that not every fight has to end in death. Sometimes it's better just to back off and let nature be. After all, we did walk into his home and start swinging. He was just defending himself. He then emoted on us and dipped, leaving us to realize that Nata really is an orphan. We then headed out to meet with the locals. They tell us that the fish was the apex monster. Keyword. Was. But we are interrupted by Sato traveling to another village. So we tag along, coming across the oil well basins. As we are getting settled in though, we see a few kids argue and run off. But we don't have time with that, so we need to talk with the oil folk chief. He's pretty old, so he should know something about the keepers. Yeah, he doesn't. But he did ask us to go find those kids that ran off. Why is it my job to watch after your kids? I already have to deal with this little We follow the trail only to find the jug they were carrying left behind in a tar pit. This can't be good. As we are searching frantically for them, we hear the tar bubble up and... Everyone run! It's a bird! The bird is quite fast and nasty. It drops toxic clouds. It'll also poke its tail into the ground, causing a massive explosion of toxic fumes. My strat here is to stab by its legs and then call on my bird whenever I need to bail and heal. We did get it to sleep and blow it up with some bombs at one point, dealing a ton of damage. I was too close. After that, we found the kids hiding in the hole and helped them back to the village as we were being watched by some sus monkeys. We returned just in time to watch the fire festival, but something's wrong because the flames go out. No one can ignite the furnace, so the festival is cancelled. Everyone's heartbroken, so we offer to help them figure out what's going on, but as we're deciding what to do, some warriors from Sato's village rush in to tell him that the sandstorm has returned. Sato heads home to help out, and so do we. After all, the White Wraith went that way. We rush over on our birds and find the place very windy. We ask Sato what's going on, and he reassures us that, yeah, we're screwed. Still, we press on to the Eye of the Storm to find the White Wraith, locked in combat with this region's apex predator, so we try to stay back and not get eaten. Nada is a stupid kid though and tries to throw a rock at the monster, so I hold him back and he cries. God, no wonder you're an orphan. As we are disciplining the living hazard, the White Wraith finishes the fight, choking out the apex predator and leaving his corpse on the ground. The other monster survived the encounter and looks at us rightfully peeved and decides to fight us. Why did the monster decide to fight us instead of chasing after the White Wraith? Maybe he has brain damage. Ray Dow's a serious beast and straight up wrecked me in the demo. He's fast, aggressive, and quite shocking. He's got attacks like the Wing Drag, but his main attack that is a problem is one that I call, oh my god, run for your life. During this attack, he charges up enough lightning to stop your heart, start it up, and stop it again before locking onto you, making your booty cheeks clench and your heart drop. If I don't shield that, I'm toast. Miraculously, we managed to finish this fight with no feints, putting an end to the apex of this region. I'm sure this won't have any lasting consequences on the ecosystem.
Alright boys, start pillaging.
We regroup with Alma and watch Nada sulk in silence. But I don't have time for brooding toddlers. Gemma has something important to show us. It seems that some natural energy source is highly sensitive and controls the natural phenomena, like the sandstorm, the rainfall, and the fire. Spring. Oh my god, Werner! Choyo ended up going AFK here, so in the meantime, Alchemist and I decided to fight around Pompolo. But you see, I wasn't paying attention during the fight, and well... Now, personally, I wasn't going to count this, but Alchemist decided he was going to count it in his video that he said he's going to do. So here we are. Slimy, added to the counter.
Do your eyes function?
We rush back to the village to warn Werner that he's messing with a climate nuke, and he tells us to stop overreacting. Another person comes to us and offers to lead us down to investigate the land spine, and Nana thinks that this might be a lead to get him home. So we agree and head down. Guess that nuke can wait. We come up to the center of the land spine and it's a beautiful sight. And it seems Nada did in fact come through here, so we are on the right track to find his home. We head deeper into the caves ready to get rid of this child, but of course it seems that way is sealed up by a giant wall of ice, so we have to wait even longer. And I was so close to being done with this child. As we are leaving, we hear a voice speaking softly. We follow it and find another spider, this time a Nursilla, wrapping up its prey ready for a meal. We can't let her eat that guy though, he's cool. So I do what any rational person would do. Fight the spider. The spider's attacks are more simple than the other monsters we have fought so far, but they're still pretty nasty. She has a body slam attack, web slitting arena attack like Spider-Man, and a massive stinger bite that poisons you. On top of all that, she can put you to sleep or just web you up entirely, preventing you from moving, both of which require someone else to smack you out of it.
I'm gonna fuck you.
We ended up giving her a taste of her own medicine, putting her to sleep and waking her up with an explosion. That's karma, baby. Once again, we managed to take down this monster with no casualties, leaving my death to a Rompompolos, the only one so far.
Wait, what'd you say? Damn you, bird!
We cut down the webs and rescue the Woodwood. As the thanks, he agrees to lead us through the caves to help us escape. We follow Roth deeper into the caves and— wait, is that a snowstorm? And are those floating rocks too? What was in those herbs, man? Before we can process the psychedelic cave weather, we get attacked by a flock of kites. So we run away and hide in a cave and set up camp, ready to relax for a bit. Nada doesn't look too good though. We need to get him some medicine, but the kites are still out there, so someone's got to take them out. I say we draw straws. Stupid kid, stupid straws. I wanted to be home, but no! Now I have to go fight the angry sky piranhas! First things first, I have to fire dun pods at the pack to make them separate, allowing me to take on a single kite. The kite is a flying monster, so it's quite difficult to hit them with my charged blade. They have a few attacks, being spitting on us, and if they manage to hit you with a spit, you'll be stuck in place, unable to move until something hits you, or you successfully button mash. Oh, and did I mention that we fight these things in a freezing cave mid-snowstorm? Yeah, hot drinks are essential to keep my stamina from tanking. Hello, this guy's stealing my weapon. Choyo still kept up with her bow though, allowing her to snipe the monster from a distance, becoming the only smart member of the team. After a while, we managed to take out the kite, adding another monster to the list. With that handled, we return to the village and check up on Werner to see how the fire spring is going. Okay. You're fired. The explosion also seemed to draw over some monkeys, putting people in danger. This mission is a little different. We have to fight the monkeys with Olivia for a bit before we can even join up with the others. I won't lie, I was struggling with being on my own, constantly needing to retreat and heal while barely doing any damage. But eventually, one of the monkeys emoted on us, but we get Olivia back, so now it's a 4v1. And somehow we managed to take him down with no feints. Everything seems to be going good, but some more monkeys show up ready to throw hands. But before they do, some tentacles show up and grab them all, revealing Squidward. He makes quick work of the monkeys and drags them down to the abyss with some baby oil. Everyone is rightfully terrified of Squidward, so we agreed to look into it. We headed deep into the caves, searching for Squidward, who we finally find chilling at the bottom, taking a full-on lava bath. But for this mission, I decided to join Alchemist since he was fighting the Molten Calamari for a while. Squidward here is constantly on fire, which, fun fact, means you're also on fire. So you better have a cool drink unless you like slowly roasting from the inside out. As there are quite a few close calls, we managed to take down Squidward. We made it back to the village just in time to watch the ending of the fire festival. Wow. Much lava. We review what we've been up to over the past few days. The land spine controls nature, it's made out of something called WUM, and Squidward melted a path through the ice shard cliffs. Meaning, it's time to take Nada home. We hit through the tunnels, coming across his glove, meaning that we are on the right track. Before we can get too far, though, two massive bears crash into the cave, but these look different than before. A bit more white. So I do what any rational person would do. Fight the bear. The bear is much more aggressive than before, and it can generate pools of WUM just by hitting the ground. On the bright side, if you have an elemental pod, then you can shoot the WUM with it, creating a blast of elemental damage. Thanks to our hard work and a little help from Brother Bear, we managed to claim victory. We regroup and check out the monster, learning that it's... well, it's missing something very important. But we don't have time for that. We need to get this kid home and collect my paycheck for babysitting. We take the child to the ruins of his once peaceful village.
Tashin! It's I'm home!
I'm sorry, kid, but I highly doubt that anyone survived this attack.
Not, is that you?
What the hell? Turns out a few of the keepers survived the White Wraith attack, despite having no clue what a weapon is. We're just about to enter the village and finally make this child someone else's problem when suddenly, knock knock, who's there? Rathalos! But wait, I forgot to eat. Fish. By this point of the game, our weapons were seriously falling behind, and it shows. That's right, folks, we can finally add another death to the counter. All because I stood still rather than dodging like a normal person. It seems that the dragon only had it out for me as we managed to kill it with only one death. I called over the kid's uncle to show off my handiwork and he is rightfully terrified of my power. I will do this to all of your villagers if you don't take this kid back now. We talk a bit and get some exposition. Turns out Nod is adopted. I don't know who would adopt this kid. Oh, and apparently these people created the White Wraith. Smart move. But we don't have time to learn as the White Wraith shows up ready for a fight. Now, I will be fighting this thing properly later on, and the script is already dragging on, so we're gonna skip the repel quest.
Thank God, I've been editing for 4 days!
So we fill up our stash and meet up with Rove, ready to travel through an ice cannon inhabited by a massive monster. But he says that the monster's not home right now, so we can go on through. Only to immediately be spotted and chased down by this monster. So we book it as fast as we can until we reach a small cave to stop and breathe. But the beast is too big and too dangerous for us to continue on, so Olivia and I have to fight it head on. The thing is massive. This guy hits like a truck, dealing about 3/4 of my health in one hit. But if you know anything about this monster, then you know the big one. This move is an OHKO attack. You can't run, you can't block. You can only hide and pray. You need to pull down a rock that is floating up in the sky and hide behind that, and just pray that your hitbox is behind that rock when the time comes. Thankfully, we managed to beat the monster with no casualties. This time, at least. We take the moment to start running and send the monster down into the abyss below. But just when we think it's over, he comes back and nearly drags me down with him. I barely escaped. Everyone is safe, so we discover the 4th civilization that we have found in this totally uninhabited region. As it turns out, the keepers just really messed everything up and paid the price. We ask her for help, but she just gives us a vague response, then invites us for dinner. We eat a meal and get some more exposition, but now we have a plan. What's the plan, you ask? Well, it's to enter the abandoned capital of Wyveria and study the Guardians. What could possibly go wrong? We explore for a bit, coming across the monster Spore. It's basically a way to track down monsters, but the spore is fresh. Do you guys hear a dog barking? Aw, what a cute pupper. Oh my god, it's trying to eat me. The pupper's whole gimmick is not to hit hard, but rather to hit fast. High speed, okay attack, and low defense. Kinda like Weavile. Wait a minute, but there was a problem. You see, while we were recording this mission, Choyo took a bit longer to join in, which meant Simba and Clove were with us longer, and they ended up putting the dog to sleep. After a little talk, we decided that it counted as breaking the rules, so all 3 of us agreed to restart this mission. Going into attempt 2, we all joined quick enough to not risk the cats having too much fun. Everything was going well. We were on track to kill the pupper, until Alchemist crashed. But this also brought in another problem, because the cats returned, and we saw them paralyze the pupper, meaning we would have to restart again. Except, if you look closely to the right of the screen, then you'll see it wasn't the cats. It was bugs. And bugs are fair game, because they spawn naturally, meaning we are allowed to continue this mission and take down the doggo with ease. But just as we are about to continue on with our day, Squirliam shows up. Apparently he wants revenge for us killing Squidward, with no time to refill potions. Squirliam has sharp tips on his tentacles, allowing him to slash at us. He also jumps in the air and throws blades down in your direction. Pretty much all he does is stab you and dip out. Oh, he also has this really big attack where he will jump at you with all his teeth out. And let me tell you, from experience, it hits hard. After returning to the hunt with a full bag of health potions and a new hatred for calamari, I was ready to give in my all and take this stupid squid down. I don't want to talk about it. After just 2 deaths, we managed to get our act together and take down Squilliam. We regrouped and had a little conversation about how the Guardians have now become part of the ecosystem, including Arkfeld. We gathered some more resources and headed down into the depths below to find our— oh look, there he is! Causing mass genocide. Oh, not a look away. Guardian Arkfeld has become a danger to the ecosystem. It's eating an entire species to extinction, and without a stomach, it has no reason to stop. Against all protests from this stupid child, I have a job to do, so the time has come to take Guardian Arkfeld down. Now, Guardian Arkfeld is a dangerous monster, and while we did fight it earlier, we did not go over the moves, so let's fix that. It has the same WUM generating moves like the other Guardians. Then there's this move I like to call the Whip Boom, where it whips its chains down, generating a pillar of WUM, only to then blow it up, causing a massive explosion. But most of the time it just spams WUM pillars, so when given an opportunity, I always make sure to shoot my WUM. But somehow, even with a few close calls, we managed to take down the beast with no casualties. Wow, so much for the big boss of the game. This guy was a piece of cake. Hey, why didn't the boss music stop? Oh god. We regrouped with Tashin and told him about the monster we saw. As it turns out, that monster is what destroyed the ancient city. So we came up with a plan. If we destroy the Dragon Torch, we will destroy the monster, along with the entire ecosystem. The choice is clear. Nada agrees to destroy the Dragon Torch. We head back into the caves below, and Nada goes up to destroy the entire ecosystem with a single pendant. But I was thinking, this thing did take out an entire civilization on its own with no problem. So how about I take a crack at fighting it? And it seems like everyone else agrees. So I crack open the cocoon and get to work, looking like a badass. Only to then run away. I joined Alchemist on this one. Zoshia has the same WUM producing attacks as all other monsters in this part of the game, but it also just tends to use its wings to hit you. It actually isn't until later when it becomes a problem. So let's get to later. Zoshia has the dragon element attacks that deal massive explosions, but the main goal of this fight is to destroy the crystallized portions of its wings to deal more damage. This fight was pretty tough, as I kept getting close to fainting on multiple occasions. But the real problems happened when my power flickered. Not enough to corrupt the footage, meaning you can still watch me struggle, but it was enough to restart my PlayStation, leaving me to have to reboot the game. We eventually ended up dealing enough damage to the monster that it started to see us as an actual threat, and decided to play the floor as lava with us. But in the end, we reigned supreme, and took the beast out. And as we watched the final cutscenes where Nada's reunited with his family, and we look over the land we have saved, we ensure that yes, I can beat Monster Hunter Wilds, only using Hope Gear. Monster Hunter Wilds is another gem to add to the collection of games bearing the Monster Hunter name. While I didn't care much for Rise, put your pitchforks down, Wilds is without a doubt my favorite of the franchise, and a beautiful game about protecting the ecosystem.
And here we have the dumbest Lunar, who thought it would be a fun idea to play the same game twice on his channel, making his IQ equivalent to one of a zoo animal.
Oh, what the fuck? If you want to support us and gain some awesome perks, then make sure you check out my Ko-fi, link in the description below. And while you're down there, why not check out my other social links? Make sure you leave a like and let me know in the comments below what other games you'd like to see me do a challenge run on. This is Lunar Shadows, signing out.
Today, we're out in the wild bushes of Africa, searching for the wild African trombone.